Да.
Hi, it's Luda here. Join me to listen, learn and reflect. In Conversation with Mothers Producers is a series of interviews with successful producers. All of them are mothers who combine their parenthood with the producing role. I would love to hear their stories about personal and professional journey and ask for advice for any emerging producers or other specialists who are planning to combine career and parenthood.
I have two children. Their names are Anastasia, who is 19, almost 20, and I have Atticus, who is 16, almost 17. I started in the industry as an actor with my two partners, and we started Monkey Baa Theatre Company, and I was one of the performers as well as the co-writers and, producers. Yeah, so I was touring, playing a 9-year-old girl, but I was pregnant because of the support that I had around me, especially from my two partners that started Monkey Baa with me, Tim and Sandy. And because it was just the three of us at the time, we could adapt ourselves to suit whatever our certain circumstances were. So yes, of course, I had to focus and think about her. But for the first few years of her life, essentially she fitted into my career. Just takes a lot of preparation. You just need to be very organized. But it didn't stop me from still being the performer and the producer that I was at the time. Once Anastasia turned 3.5, 4, and we were starting to look towards she was going to school and things like that, I took a step back from the performance of our productions. So I would co-write, and then I would be part of scheduling tours and doing things like that, so that I could be there for drop-offs and pickups and things like that, and actually began to work according to school timetables. The main challenge as a parent when you've got two, when you've got a 3.5-year-old and a baby, it is very challenging. It just shifts. It shifts your expectations of yourself, and just to be mindful of what you can achieve and what you can't, and what takes priority on any given day. And sometimes it is the work that takes priority. It really is about looking at the tasks that you've got in front of you, looking at the children you've got in front of you, your situation, and going, what can I achieve today?
Mm-hmm. And when you feel exhausted, what was your main motivation and inspiration?
We started this from a deep, deep love for young people, a deep, deep love for theatre, because 3 actors, and a deep love of our country and the greater world, and the belief that young people have the right to be given and to experience the very, very best theatre experiences. That has always been my inspiration. So having children in the mix was just more inspiration, because you've got them there in front of you reading books with you, because one of our major creations is in the adaptation of literature in our company. So having the very audience that I have been creating for really face to face gave me more inspiration, really. There is nothing else that I want to be doing in my life right now. In terms of my creative soul, what I want to create and how I want to produce it, and how I want to connect young people to the creation of our works, to our workshops, to all of that, and to, bring their voices into the work. There is nothing else that I want to do. And sometimes I am really, really good at my job, and some days I have a really bad day at my job, and I make mistakes.
Even now, when you have such a great experience.
Can I tell you, for the first 10 years of our company, the mistakes that we kept making, because everything is shifting. We are in an industry where people's personalities, people's hearts, people's creativity and souls, so it's not just a black and white mathematical world. I learn from them. I tend to not make the same mistake again. It's just that there's lots more mistakes to make in the world. And that's okay. Oh, yes, I can tell you exactly the most challenging day I've had. I was on tour. My child she might have been about 2.5, 3, and she had a tantrum. And it was really, really tough. It was really tough. She wasn't the sort to often have tantrums, so it really threw us. And I remember we were in WA on tour. I couldn't get her into a van. I couldn't, and I'm like, I've got the rest of the creatives trying to get it, it was just a nightmare. And it got to the point where I had to call in one of my partners who were also on tour, thank goodness, and say, you need to come. You need to take her. Please take her. I need to go. I just need you to do that. And that's what I mean about community. And that's what I mean about not being perfect, because I couldn't deal with her at all. I couldn't, I had got to the end of where I could manage, and I just needed someone to come and change the scenery. And I needed to go and just be by myself so I could, have a big scream into the world. And the other ones, I don't have a specific one, but it's when your child gets sick and you get called and you are in the middle of like really important meetings and things like that, and you just have to go. That can be difficult.
And what about your trade-offs?
I guess for me, the trade-off is that I don't tour, I don't perform in our shows. I'm very happy with that. I don't have a problem with that. But it was something that I was prepared to trade off, not to go off on tour and leave my children at home in the care of somebody else. I do have a partner, and, he's got a pretty full-on, full-time job. He's a teacher and he has the more stable work than I do, because, with our industry, it could all end tomorrow. But teaching is kind of like, that's just one of those essential work things. I think the creative industries is essential. That's how we connect as human beings, through our creative souls. My children are both highly, highly sensitive, very intelligent, very, the way they look at the world is really special to me. So I believe that they have opened up their imaginations, and this is, again, why I adore young people and why I can't do anything else than I do, is that they have a way of looking at the world and seeing the world and caring for the world that I think adults forget. The way my daughter has always cared for animals and lizards and bugs and dead flies, and there's a beauty and an honesty in young people that I have tried to retain from my own childhood. My forte at drama school and, as an actor, was clown. Young people, I think, are very clownish in the way they put their attention in. So those things are parts of that I've retained, is that wonder, the imagination from my children. I remember my daughter once saying to me, "Hang on, Mum, I'm just catching all the colours." And I'm looking up going, what's she talking about? But she was busy catching colours. There are things like that just bring me back to imagination and love and care for the planet. And my son, again, was also very concerned about, you know, he's just a speck in this world. So they just give you really hard realities. You know, children accept people. They just accept them as they are. Or they accept a situation. You say, oh, this sheep is going to talk. This dog talks. This is happy. I'm just thinking about the next show we're doing. This person does that. They just accept the scenario and they go from there. They don't question the scenario. They just go, oh, okay. And that is just the most freeing way to live. And I think that young people, and not just my children, because of the last 20 years of being in a room with a lot of young people, that acceptance of people and of scenarios and situations, I think has really carried over into our producing work in the company. I just go, this is amazing. This is an amazing career of 25, 30 years that I've had. I couldn't have imagined it, that I didn't know who I would be now, you know, because it's as people intersect with you and come into a room with you, again, you adjust. So the people that I work with now have influenced the person I am. My advice would be, stay open to the opportunities that do present themselves to you. Sometimes it doesn't look like it's an opportunity. It could be that it's a door slamming in your face. But that, in fact, could be an opportunity. So don't judge what's coming for you. And you will know if it's right for you or if it's not right for you. I knew very quickly within 2 or 3 years of my career that doing television work wasn't for me. And the creating of your own opportunities is also something that we did when Tim and Sandy and I came together. We did create our own opportunities. We had no idea that we would go from one tiny play to now having done 28 national tours. No idea. You know, like, it is a really, we have to admit we are in the middle of a pandemic too. So it's just it's going to be very different for a very long time. And to be gentle, I think everyone needs to be gentle with ourselves and with each other, you know, especially in our creative industry where it's going through a very, very difficult time.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Slam doors can be opportunities.
Yeah.
That's new. I think each of us writes our own book as we go. That's kind of what it is, because of the nature of the work. It requires different criteria to be applied and different roles and responsibilities to be applied. Yeah, I think you need to write your own book and it will be a bestseller for you. My own book is my own bestseller.